Hi, I'm Sue Burness. I'm the Director of Communications, and I'm here today with City Manager Jennifer Bramley, who is going to share some important updates on the hurricanes that we have just experienced. So, Jennifer, we've had two back-to-back catastrophic hurricanes in 3 weeks, and we've had 6 to 8 feet of storm surge from Hurricane Helene. A lot of homes were flooded, and I know debris has been our priority and definitely the priority for the homeowners who have been flooded.
For sure.
So why don't we talk about debris and debris collection, the holding site that where the debris is going, how that was determined, and just really an overall update.
Sure, absolutely. The aftermath of the hurricane and the recovery is like a marathon. And we're in the marathon. And debris removal is the largest part of the marathon. We had a tremendous amount of debris from Helene. We have additional debris from flooding from Milton. So the mission critical right now is removing that debris, both C and D, which we refer to C and D a lot, and that's construction and demolition debris.
Correct.
As well as the vegetative, which is all the trees and the branches and that type of thing. So before hurricane season starts, and a lot of people don't know this, Sue, but before hurricane season starts, we actually contract, a county contract with debris haulers, people who will remove the debris. They're approved by FEMA, so that will be reimbursed. And we did that last January, February, contracted with the debris haulers. The debris removal in the city of Dunedin is going to cost us over $9 million, which is a pretty good chunk of our budget.
That's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money. And so we need to be sure, absolutely sure, that we get reimbursed by FEMA for as much as we possibly can, and that means that everything has to be monitored properly. And I hear so often, why does it have to put it in 4 piles? And the reason they had to put it in 4 piles is because it goes to 4 different places. And if we mix it all about, we can't separate it when we get to the laydown. So we have our existing debris hauler, and we actually, at this point, we have 13 trucks in the field, which is a good number, 9 plus 2 that came from the state this afternoon, early, and 2 later on this afternoon. So we have a lot of assets out there removing the debris. And one question that I hear a lot about is why Highlander?
Right.
And
we do too.
Really, I bet you do.
Yes,
It's
we
social
do.
media. And Highlander, it's our beloved park. I mean, it really is. It's the center part of our open space and our recreational activities. And there's a really good reason for Highlander, though. Some people were here during Irma, and Irma was a category, probably a Category 1 storm. And we had a lot of vegetative debris to remove. It took us a long time. A long, long time. And we heard about that from our residents. You got to speed it up next time. And the issue with Irma was that we chose what we call a laydown site, which is when you remove the debris or whatever it is and you lay it down someplace else. You get it off of their curb and you put it someplace else. The issue was we actually chose a laydown direct to the landfill. So it took us many months to remove all the vegetation because you have a grapple that would put it in the truck and then go down to the landfill, and that trip is at least 45 minutes, then wait there for 2 hours.
The round trip.
Right,
Yes.
the round trip, and then another 45 minutes back. So it took us a long time, and we didn't have the luxury of time this time. So Highlander was identified by the city as a future laydown site, and it was the perfect site because it was close to the area with the most damage. So the trip is very short. So we're able to get it off of their curbs and into Highlander. And we actually had to elevate that debris removal because Milton was coming. And the fact that we were able to remove what we were able to before Milton was because Highlander was right there. Otherwise, the truck would have been, moving back and forth. The trip would have been longer. We're actually able now to forecast that we'll be able to remove all of the debris throughout the city and out of Highlander within 90 days, which is a very good time frame. And one of the things that people are asking me about as well is what about our beloved park and contamination. And,
Exactly.
and I know it's hard for residents to see all that piled into Highlander Park, especially those living adjacent to the park. So what we did before we started dropping the debris, we called our laydown site, we did something called geotechnical surveys to test the soil, and the soil is fine, and so what we needed to do, though, is test the soil, and then when we're done, we're going to return it to exactly that condition of the original soil. And so we don't expect contamination because the debris is not there for very long. But if there is any, in any way, shape, or form, then we'll scrape that off, replace it with soil, and then return it to its original condition. And before you know it, it's going to be clear, and we'll have Highlander Park, and this will be a distant bad memory.
Yes, for all of us.
Yes,
Absolutely. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And then tree debris. I know that the C&D, the construction and demolition debris has been underway, but I also believe that we have begun collecting tree debris, correct?
We have, yes, we have. And so the city crews are actually working on that vegetative debris. And we have 4 trucks out right now removing that debris. And any additional assets that we get from the state that's coming in town now, they'll be working on the vegetative debris as well.
Very good, very good. And for all of this, we appreciate everyone's patience.
We do.
We appreciate your
that's
patience.
for sure.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I know it's hard. I know how hard it is for people to sit there and, day in, day out, see that debris, but we're getting there. We're speeding it up, and we're making really good progress.
Yes, we are seeing progress, yes. But what about communities that are private communities or commercial entities? Can you speak to that?
Yeah, absolutely. So private communities and commercial entities are not approved for reimbursement from FEMA. So private communities are responsible for removing their own debris. They should have a plan in place prior to every hurricane season. Many of them already have a hauler under contract to remove the debris, but we will not be in those communities to remove that debris. The same with commercial entities.
All right, good. So Jennifer, can you tell us what the city is doing to help residents who need to repair and rebuild their homes from the flood?
Well, first of all, our residents need to hire a reputable licensed contractor, somebody who's licensed and insured, and they will know what permits are needed specifically, and they will know how to apply for the permits. So there are a lot of scammers out there, Sue, and we call them vultures, actually, in the neighborhoods. If they don't have a license number on their truck, and if they're not insured, you don't need them. You really don't. If they're asking you for cash up front, you don't need them. Send them
Walk
along
away.
and get a licensed contractor, and I know that there's a long line for licensed contractors. But it's definitely worth the wait to protect themselves. Permits are required for drywall in Dunedin and throughout the county. And there's a good reason for that. There's a life safety issue, especially within your structure. If you've had water inundation, then most likely it has inundated the electrical system as well. Our inspectors are making sure that electrical system is free and clear of that salt water because it will cause fires in the future, and looking for mold and those types of things. So, and the permits are for life safety and to protect the public from faulty installation and construction. So, drywall, cupboards, that type of a thing, they need to be anchored properly or they can cause injury.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, one other thing.
Yes.
So at the City Commission meeting tomorrow,
Yes.
which is October 24th, the City Commission will be voting to waive permit fees. I anticipate that they will adopt
Yes.
that ordinance. And that would be for fees that apply to removal, repair, and replacement of damaged building components, which is just about everything on the inside, fence repair, and tree removal. And that should stay in place until April 30th of 2025.
That's great news. I know
Yeah.
people are waiting to hear about that, so thank you for that.
So RVs, there are code restrictions on RVs, and those are being temporarily removed. Residents can live in the RV in their driveway under certain conditions. The home has to be uninhabitable. They have to have an active building permit or be submitting for a building permit. And that removal of that ordinance, if you will, be in place for 36 months.
While the home is under
right.
repair.
Yes, thank you for that. While the home is under repair. Boats also. A lot of people had to pull their boats out, trailer their boats out. We're allowing for a boat to be temporarily stored in their driveway. If it's from a damaged marina, it has to be located on the private property, again, out of the right-of-way. Has to avoid blocking sidewalks, and that will be in place until February of 2025. If we need a time extension, we'll do that. Yeah. There's a $200 registration fee for short-term rentals. We're suspending that for damaged units. So those that own a short-term rental, if their unit is damaged, then they won't have to pay the registration fee until they're up and running again. So one of the things that we've done, Sue, is that we've actually knocked on 1,732 doors or something like that.
It's amazing.
To provide a flyer or a door hanger regarding a multi-agency resource center here in City Hall right now. And we actually have FEMA here, we have the Small Business Administration here, we have all sorts of food and water and resources for people who are going to need help. So if anybody is watching this video and you need help, come to City Hall and we'll get you sorted out.
That's great. And they're going to be here through the end of the month, I
Yeah,
think.
the 30th of October.
Yes, okay, very good. Thank you. So Jennifer, my final question for you today is about the marina.
Yes.
We're getting a lot of questions about the marina. Helene and Milton beat up our marina pretty badly.
Sure did. Yeah.
So could you just give us a little bit of an update
Sure.
on the marina?
Absolutely. Well, as you walk about the basin, then you can see that our pier is unusable and will be closed. It has to be completely rebuilt. One of the bulkhead walls collapsed, if you will. It's buckling. And so it's the east wall. It's buckling. It's created somewhat of a sinkhole from the parking lot to the bulkhead. A and B docks are not easily accessible, although we have built a little bridge for the vessel owners and only the vessel owners to maintain their boats. As you walk around, C dock is still in place, and then south wall and the west wall are still in place and seem to be undamaged. The boat club took a hit. Our delightful little 100-year-old building took a hit. We are taking it one step at a time with the boat club. We're lifting the floor up to see what's underneath it, and we'll go from there. So the marina is, unfortunately, and it pains me to say it, it's closed until further notice.
Okay.
We won't be having our boat parade,
Right.
no, but we will be having a heck of a old-fashioned Christmas parade instead.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. So this is really unprecedented.
It is.
I'm sure you have never dealt with this in your career. None of us
I have not.
right?
Right.
These are two catastrophic hurricanes that have really impacted our entire area. What do you worry about most as we move forward to recovery?
Well, I worry about the community as a whole. I worry about how our residents that have been so impacted are going to get through this. So 211 is a mental health resource. I encourage them to avail themselves of that resource. Come to City Hall and we'll hook you up with any resource that you may need, whatever we have available to us. I'm worried about what's going on in social media right now because there is a lot of misinformation that is not really helping anyone. So I would direct anybody who has a question to go to our website, and I'm sure you'll mention it in a moment because that's what Sue does.
Yes.
But to go to our website, and we have every little bit of information that the county pushes out or the state government pushes out there, as well as our own information. But don't listen to the misinformation. Find out the facts yourself.
So Jennifer, thank you, because we too see all that misinformation and we're responding to a lot of those questions and directing people to the facts, which are on our website, which are updated constantly. And we also want people to subscribe to the Dunedin News, which you can do on our website, which is dunedingov.com. And that way you can get direct access to information and the correct information.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 So what else would you like to share as we wrap this up?
I want to thank the community for their resilience. I really do. People helping other people, groups helping people. I mean, it just shows this community shines in moments like this. And I'm just so proud of all of our volunteers for what they've done for each other. I'm proud of our employees. They are working hard. It's weeks and weeks of hard work. And as I said, we're not through this marathon yet. So it's weeks and weeks more of this hard work. And they've done so well. They really have. And they stick to it, and we're going to get the job done.